Hello and welcome back to Morgan's video blog with writing tips from the pros and, of course, my own writerly musings. Today I'm here with NaNoWriMo might not work for everyone, but here's why it works for me. So I love NaNoWriMo. Here in Virginia, the weather is getting cold and rainy, soup weather, so being inside feels good. We're past the business of the back to school season, even for those not in school or raising kids, but it's still autumn enough to have that quote unquote back to school feeling that you should be starting something. In other words, the perfect time to curl up with some hot cider and a laptop and tell yourself a story. Now, I know that National Novel Writing Month isn't for everyone. I mean, here are 11 reasons why NaNoWriMo might not be for you. Number 1, November is just a bad time of year for you. Number 2, you already write more than that regularly. Or, number 3, you can't write that fast. Number 4, 50,000 words in a month is much faster than your best quality pace. And which goes hand in hand with 5, you find a slower pace makes for a better draft. Maybe you don't write full-length manuscripts. You do short stories or picture books. Maybe you're in the middle of an editing cycle. Maybe you just don't have an editing or a story idea. Or maybe the feel of being obligated or pledged to write just shuts down your creative juices. Number 10, maybe you'd rather write privately without the public spectacle of it. Or you just don't feel with it. And that's fine. Not everyone has to do NaNoWriMo. Now, as a side note, I know some people think of NaNoWriMo writers as, trash. Some NaNoWriMo writers finish their rough drafts, do a spell check and grammar pass, maybe, and immediately start querying it, and thus have given the impression that all NaNoWriMo writers can't edit and are flooding the agents and publishers. While there is a small percentage it's true for, the majority of NaNoWriMo writers believe in the power of beta readers, revisions, and taking their time to get their manuscripts to publication. So, back to my post. For those like me who enjoy NaNoWriMo, I hope you will find these reasons resonate with you. Here are the multitude of reasons why NaNoWriMo works for me. Number 1, accountability. Others I know are watching and counting with me. Number 2, momentum. I am completely momentum driven. If I can get 5 days under my belt, I've yet to not make it to the end of the month. Plus, now that I've proven to myself I can do it, I find I can't make as many excuses. Number 3, the set goal. For Camp Nano, I find myself adjusting goals and making excuses. In November, you can't change the goal. I mean, that doesn't mean I haven't been a Nano rebel before with a bunch of short stories or editing. Being a rebel is just as traditional. Reason number 4 works for me, the community. Writing can be lonely, but for this month, you can find write-ins, live or virtual, nearly every day, especially in regions like my NaNoWriMo region. You get to hear about other people's stories, research questions, and plot bunnies. Number 5, the gorgeous charts. I love to see my stats and my pacing. Number 6, logging word counts. The ability to edit the day's total if you forget to update the website or you finish after midnight, but before bed, not to name any names, cough Morgan, cough names. Number 7, minimal day job distractions. At work, our big deadline just wrapped, so I've got a couple months before the next crunch time. Plus, I know for many of my friends, the end of the fiscal year frees them up. Number 8, not hosting Thanksgiving. I'm not prepping my house and cooking a huge meal for a large family. Number 9, leniency on chores. In my life, I can let cooking and cleaning slide for most of the month. I won't end up in a state of squalor, but there will be some recovery needed at the end. And finally, I'm a novelist. Well, mostly. So NaNoWriMo gets me 200 pages into my next book. Other than that aforementioned Nano, I did a collection of short stories, at least one of which I've actually polished and started sending to publishers. So I wasn't a pro definitely the first time I tried it. It took me 3 NaNoWriMo attempts years apart before I won. 3 times trying to write the same story. But including that first win, I've quote-unquote won NaNoWriMo 6 out of the last 7 years. And for that 1 year, I was separated from my now ex-husband, had just started my first new job since I was a fresh-faced college hire, attended a con 3 states away, hosted Thanksgiving for like 17, and moved out with the help of my friends 2 days after Thanksgiving. I knew better than to try that year. Now, that doesn't mean that I've loved everything I've written. More intentional outlines might make for cleaner drafts, but I've learned a lot, and as the saying goes, you can't edit a blank page. So let me know in the comments below, have you ever tried NaNoWriMo? Did it work for you? And if you haven't, what's holding you back? As always, if you enjoyed this post, share it with your friends, click the bell to get notifications, and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you again next week for more writing tips and writerly musings. Bye-bye.